Okay, so Module 1, Management and Human Resource. Okay, so Part 1 muna tayo. Okay, so our subject is RT 304, Management, Leadership, and Entrepreneurship. Okay, so objectives at the end of this presentation, students would be able to define an organization, list and discuss the common elements of an organization, define organizational behavior, list and explain the different theories and models of organizational behavior. Okay. So what is an organization? So basically, when we heard or when we hear an organization, di ba? Ang lagi pumapasok sa isip natin, syempre, they are a group of people. Yun lagi, group of people, samahan or uh, binubuo ng mga tao. Yun. Pero those are not the only elements of what an organization is. Or hindi lang yun yung ibig sabihin kung ano ang isang organization. Okay. So, organization is a system consisting of people and structure. Relationship among them is created to preserve a specific role. So, in this first definition, organization is seen as a system, not only composed of people or persons, but also of structure. Okay. Itong tinatawag na structure dito, yung sinasabing structure dito, it is not what uh, we may think na physical structure. Hindi yan yung structure na like buildings or bridges or any infrastructure. Structure by means of merong siyang uh, let's say para siyang uh, may kaayusan. Okay, may kaayusan yung itong grupo ng mga tao na to. Or yung tao plus may specific na role na ginagampanan. So, kaya nga yun yung relationship among the structure and the people. At ang end niya ay isang specific role. So each people and structure in an organization, in this system called organization, has a specific role. Okay. So another definition of organization is it is a group of people working together in a structured or coordinated way to achieve goals. So nandun pa rin yung group of people, structured, may structure, at the same time coordinated. Then, instead of a specific role, di ba nandyan rin yung specific roles of working together. So if a group of people works together, therefore, they have each of them have different roles or specific roles. Pero dinagdag dito yung achievement ng goals or meron silang common goals uh, na hinahangad. Okay? So yan yung organization. Okay. So common elements naman ng organization, ayan, common purpose or common goal, then coordinated effort, division of labor, then hierarchy of authority. So, sa lahat ng mga ng organization na makikita natin sa buong mundo, sa any field, sa kahit anong field, be it healthcare, industry, corporate, government, ba? Makikita natin yung elements na yan. Meron silang common goals or common purpose, merong coordinated effort, merong division of labor, at of course merong hierarchy of authority. Okay, so common purpose, ito yung nag-unify sa mga members ng isang organization. It gives them the direction. It gives the organization the direction it needs to or towards the fulfillment or success of their uh, kung bakit sila binuo or kung bakit binuo ang isang specific organization. So itong common purpose includes general strategy, mission vision statements, okay, values, yung core values, then short and long term objectives. Okay. So kaya nga sa atin dito sa kung i-apply natin yan sa school, di ba kaya nga sa first year pa lang pag nag-enroll tayo sa SEPI, so pinag-aaralan natin yung vision mission statement kasi we become parts of the SEPI organization. Dapat alam natin yung common purpose ng organization na kung saan kabilang tayo. Then coordinated effort. So, from the root word coordinate, so meaning working together. Okay? So it is very important for an organization to have this coordinated effort in order for them or for an organization to maximize its resources. Kung makikita natin sa environment natin, when you are in the business sector, nasa business ka, you can see that there are only scarce resources. Scarce yung resources natin. Lalo na sa panahon ngayon. Hindi tayo makakakita ng masaganang resources. Diba? Yung resources na hawak natin, konting-konti lang. And therefore, sa isang organization, kailangan ma-maximize yung paggamit ng resources na yun. Example, nagtatrabaho ka sa isang hospital. Okay. So, isa sa mga reason kung bakit itinayo ang hospital, bukod sa in order to cater for the sick, in order to serve the sick and those who have illnesses, di ba, syempre, nandun yung profit. Hindi natin mawawala na isa sa purpose ng mga private hospitals ay profit. Diba? Kasi kung walang profit, hindi mabubuhay yung hospital. Kaya nga isa sa mga current issue ngayon, kung mapapansin nyo, yung issue sa PhilHealth with regards to the private hospitals na hindi nababayaran ng PhilHealth yung obligation nila sa mga private hospitals. So billion o inaabot ng billions. At kapag ito ay hindi nabayaran ng PhilHealth o hindi ito binayaran, isa lang ang mangyayari doon sa mga hospitals na yun. Mag-close, malulugi, bankruptcy. Okay? So kung ikaw ay, halimbawa nasa radiology department ka, so as much as possible, kapag nasa x-ray ka, kung ilang exposure lang yung procedure, ganun lang din yung exposure na or yung film na magagamit mo. Okay? So yun ang iba, nagtitipid pa. Diba kaya nga merong mga radiograph na 2-in-1, 3-in-1, diba? Let's say 11/14. Pagkakasahin mo ang x-ray ng hand, PA oblique sa lateral. So instead na gagamit ka ng tatlong 10/12, so nakatipid ka kasi ang ginamit mo lang isang 11/14. So yun. So yung mga ganun. It is coordinated effort. Not only ng department, kundi buong organization. Okay, so achieved through the coordinated effort of all individuals and groups within the organization. So yun yung coordinated effort na tinatawag. Then division of labor. Siyempre, kinakailangan din na mayroong division of labor. Hindi pwedeng lahat ay sa maintenance lang. Hindi naman pwedeng lahat ay sa uh, delivery of service lang, di ba? Yung iba, uh, pwede sa scheduling, okay? Yung iba, pwede sa releasing ng result. So, hindi lahat ay doon lang sa examination. So, kailangan balansehin yung trabaho. Kaya there are specific roles for each of the member of the organization. So it involves delegating specific parts of a broader task to different people within the organization based on their particular abilities and skills. So in this subject or course, pag-aaralan natin yung staffing. Paano ba ginagawa yung staffing? Ano ba yung staffing? May particular requirements ba for the staffing ng mga uh, ng halimbawa radiology department? So yun, pag-aaralan natin yun in the following lessons. Okay? So sabi pa dito, using division of labor, an organization can parcel out a complex work effort for specialists to perform. So ibig sabihin lang na yung mga complex work, so syempre bibigay natin sila sa mga may abilities and capabilities to perform them. At yung mga simple works naman, dun lang din sa ang capability ay bagay sa work na or sa specific job na kaya nilang i-perform ng mabuti. Division of labor. Hindi lang dahil sa kaya nilang i-perform, kung hindi, kaya nilang i-perform with efficiency and effectivity. Next is hierarchy of authority. So ito, hindi ito nawawala sa isang organization. In fact, most of the time, ito yung karaniwan na tinuturo kapag pumasok ka sa isang organization. Okay? Hierarchy of authority. So basically, it is the chain of command. Okay? So this hierarchy of authority can be seen or can be represented by what we call the organizational chart. So it is a control mechanism for making sure that the right people do the right things at the right time. So from the top level management to mid level management down to the uh, do sa mismong workers or sa low level management. So yan yung hierarchy of authority. And this different level of management, may kanya-kanya siyang authority or power to a certain extent to perform certain things. Let's say, si low-level management, they cannot decide on a policy that will affect the whole organization. Ang pwede lang mag-decide nun or gumawa nun yung top-level management. Let's say the CEO or the chief operating or executive officer or the board of trustees. So sila lang yung may authority, may power to uh, make policies that will affect or that can affect the whole organization. So si low-level management, ang pwede lang niyang pakialman na policy is yung policy na makaka-apekto lang sa kanyang immediate subordinate or do sa na halimbawa let's say sa radiology department. So the department supervisor or department manager is a low level management. Okay, so yun. Then, syempre, organizational behavior naman, so ito ay ano na, another topic na. Okay? So, again, review natin yung common elements ng organization. So, we have four. Ano yung apat na yon? First is common purpose. Next, coordinated efforts. Then, labor and hierarchy of authority. Okay. So, organizational behavior. So, this is a study of how human behavior affects an organization. Kaya nga, makikita nyo yung mga words na ginamit. So, from the words itself, study on how human behavior affects the organization. Siyempre, ang bawat members ng organization, meron siyang kanya-kanyang behavior. And each of these behaviors can affect the organization. So it also aims to learn how an organization operates through the behaviors of its member. Okay, so based on the behavior of its members, so pinag-aaralan ito kung paano nag-ooperate ang mga organization. Kaya there are different theories and models of organizational behavior. Okay? Okay, so for my question ba? Okay, if none, so let us proceed to these different theories and models of organizational behavior. So first, yung pinakakilala sa lahat, the bureaucratic theory. Okay, so a big example of the uh, bureaucratic theory yung gumagamit nito ay yung ating government. Okay, bakit? So ano ba ang bureaucratic theory? So it is consistent with the closed system approach to an organization. Bakit closed system? Kasi very structured yung bureaucracy. Very structured at most of the time, kung ano yung dapat yung nasa uh, chain of command or hierarchy of authority, dapat susundin yon. Walang pwedeng bypass na mangyayari. So, five characteristics of the bureaucratic theory. So, number one, okay, the organization is guided by explicit, specific procedures for governing activities. So, katulad nga ng binanggit natin kanina, closed system approach. Okay, so very structured, okay, guided by specific rules and procedure. Okay. Then, activities are distributed among office holders. So kung mapapansin natin, di ba, sa isang government unit, maraming offices. And each offices ay may kanya-kanyang uh, trabaho or line of activities. Okay? Then offices are arranged in a hierarchical fashion. So, di ba, we have the mayor, tapos vice mayor, tapos under the vice mayor, sangguniang pang panglungsod or pang sangguniang bayan. Then, under the mayor naman, doon sa kabila, yung kanyang uh, chief of staff or secretary, then mga department heads ng bawat department na meron, let's say, finance, uh, engineering, the MSWD, MSWD, etc. So yan, may mga kanya-kanyang or yung mga offices ay arranged in hierarchical fashion. Then candidates are selected on the basis of their technical competencies. Okay. Kaya pag ikaw ay papasok sa government, so dadaan ka sa civil service examination unless you are exempted by law or eligible ka na dahil halimbawa sa iyong board exam. Okay? So yung mga courses na may board exam or item na ang trabahador ay or employee ay uh, may board exam or pasado sa board exam. So, hindi na sila nire-require na mag-take ng civil service. So, they are eligible by virtue of passing the board exam or licensure exam. Then, officials carry out their function in an impersonal fashion. So, basically, trabaho lang. So, walang nangyayari na interpersonal relationship. So karaniwan ay yan, impersonal yung approach. Okay? Parang ano lang yan, boss to employee or employer-employee relationship lang. Okay? Then, after the bureaucratic theory, we have the scientific management school or basically scientific management. Okay. So from the term na yan, scientific management, so na-develop ito dahil sa na-develop ito ng panahon ng Industrial Revolution. Okay. At very popular ito. Ito yung scientific management. Okay. Ano ba ito? So it closely resembles or related to the bureaucratic approach. Halos kamukha. Okay? This perspective emphasizes on the span of control, the unity of command, and appropriate delegation of authority or departmentalization, and use of work method to improve efficiency. Okay. Example nito, halimbawa, sa isang factory, kung in order to produce 100 products, kailangan mo ng, let's say, 75 workers. Ang scientific management school, ang gagawin niya, bibili siya ng machine, mag-employ lang siya ng 10 workers na mag-ooperate ng machine. So, this machine can, let's say, produce 100 products for, let's say, 4 hours. Eh yung 75 workers can produce 100 products for 8 hours. So, madodoble niya yung output, yung products. And therefore, magiging mas efficient yung machine with 10 workers only. At scientific management school perspective yun. Kaya nauso yan nung Industrial Revolution. Okay. So, no Industrial Revolution, sobrang baba ng pasahod ng sweldo ng mga tao. Dahil nagtsatsaga ang mga tao sa katiting na sweldo kaysa sa wala silang maging trabaho. Dahil nga sa the dawn of the machine, ika nga dawn of the machine, noong panahon na yon, so pinapalitan ng mga negosyante ang mga trabahador, ang mga tao ng makina na mas marami na produce na produkto kaysa sa mga tao sa maikling panahon lang. Okay? So doon nag-umpisa yun. So the father of scientific management is Frederick Winslow Taylor. Okay? So siya yung nag-umpisa ng theory na yan. At further develop yan ng maraming tao. In-improve. Hanggang sa panahon ngayon, may improvement pa rin yan, scientific management tool. Pero ang pinaka-essence niyan ay ginagamit ng theory na to yung scientific advancement towards the goal of efficient management. Okay? So, this is the scientific management approach. So, ito yung usually, ito yung system. So, programming the job, number 1. Choosing the right person to match the job and training the person to do the job. Okay. Una, gagawa muna let's say, si employer, gagawa siya ng isang item o isang position sa trabaho. At itong position na to, ito ang gagawin. Ito ang trabaho ng taong mapapalagay dyan sa position na to. Let's say, sa RadTech. So, gusto ko mag-create ng QA/QC officer. At ito ang mga trabaho ng QA/QC officer. Every day, i-check niya yung mga machines kung okay. So may checklist. Every day, check niya yung mga cassette. Okay? Tapos, randomly within the day, i-check niya yung quality ng mga radiograph na kinukuha. So ito lang yung trabaho niya. Ito lang yung trabaho ng RadTech na to. Okay? Then, after malista ko na yung mga job description ng QA/QC officer, pipili siya ng tamang RadTech o tamang tao para doon sa position na yon. At bibigyan niya ng proper training para magampanan ng tama at efficiently yung trabaho na QA/QC officer. Bakit kailangan pa i-training? Kasi kung hindi mo siya i-training, baka mali-mali yung kanyang gagawin, sablay yung kanyang gagawin. So kung i-apply natin yan doon sa example natin kanina na sa Industrial Revolution, so pipili siya ng out of doon sa 75 na workers, pipili lang siya ng 10 na mag-ooperate ng machine. The rest, tatanggalin niya na yung 10, bibigyan niya ng training para mag-operate ng machine. So yun yung scientific management approach. Okay. Programming the job, choosing the right person to match the job, and training the person on how to do the job. So yan yung approach. Okay? So next is the human relation school or theory. So this is, of course, a theory that focuses on the individual. Kaya nga human relation. Not only on the individual, but on its relationship with others. Okay? So emphasizes on the usefulness of participatory decision making. Okay. So bakit participatory? Kung mapapansin nyo dun sa scientific method or scientific management school and bureaucratic theory, walang participation in the decision making ang bawat employee or members ng organization. Bakit? Because the decision lies with the top management. Okay? So dito, binibigyan ng pagkakataon ng members or individual sa organization sa decision making. Okay? And the role of intrinsic self-actualizing aspect of work. So, binibigyan ng halaga o pahalaga ang bawat isa ng members ng organization. Okay? Maaaring hingan sila ng suggestion or hingan sila or bigyan sila ng karapatan to voice out what they think is good for the organization. So it represents the foundation for many applied organization development efforts and the re-emphasis on empowering individuals associated with total quality management and continuous quality improvement efforts or CQI. So itong TQM and CQI na ito or Total Quality Management and Continuous Quality Improvements, these are another sets of model ng management na famous sa panahon ngayon. Okay. So actually itong TQM and CQI halos iisa lang to. Okay. So continuous quality improvement, so habang gumagawa ng improvement ang organization, okay, so patuloy ito na sa pag-improve sa pamamagitan ng feedback, kung ano yung nakikita nila, ine-evaluate nila, yung nakikita nilang mali, at pag may nakitang mali, so stop yung maling practices, tapos mag-improve sila ng practices. Kaya continuous quality improvement. Meaning, hindi porket may nakitang mali, hanggang nakita na lang. Kailangan may gagawing action in order to uh, correct the errors na meron doon sa system. So, isa yun sa principle ng TQM at CQI. Okay? So, empowering of individuals. Okay. Okay, so may question ba? So, for my question, before we proceed to the next model or theory. Okay, so let us continue. Mali na naman ang aking spelling. Okay, so yan po ay contingency theory. Okay, so contingency theory. It promotes a continuum approach from a more or less bureaucratic to a more or less organic system. So continuum siya. Meaning, it can either be bureaucratic or not. Okay, so nakadepende siya sa situation. Kaya nga contingency. Diba, when we say contingency, siya ay backup. May backup plan ka. So it recognizes that different subunits of organization may be organized differently depending on the specific environment and technologies with which they are evolving. Okay. So, siya ay nakadepende sa situation, sa specific environment. Siya ay, kumbaga, flexible yung approach. Kaya nga continuum approach. Pwede siyang more bureaucratic, pwede siyang less bureaucratic, more organic, less organic. Okay, more makikinig sa employees or mas or mas bibigyan ng halaga kung ano yung iniisip lang ng top management. So mga ganyan. Siya ay flexible depending on specific environment. Contingency theory. Okay. So empirical support for contingency theory ideas is mixed depending on whether one is studying the organization as a whole, a particular subgroup, or specific individuals. So again, it is depending pa rin sa specific environment. Okay, that is contingency theory. Okay, let's say the organization, example natin ang halimbawa yung part, diba? The part is a national organization. Meron siyang uh, subgroups, diba? Or chapters na tinatawag. So we have our own Quezon chapter. So let's say, doon sa part national, okay, they are very bureaucratic, very authoritarian halimbawa. Halimbawa, so kung ano yung sinabi ni President, yun yung masusunod. However, pagdating doon sa chapter, sa Quezon chapter halimbawa, yung President ng Quezon chapter, mas leaning siya towards a more democratic way of leadership. Okay. So, binavalue ni halimbawa ng president ng Quezon chapter yung individual uh, let's say individual voice sa decision making. Okay, so, yun yung example ng contingency. Siya ay dependent upon uh, the situation or specific environment. Okay? Clear po ba? Clear po ba? Okay? Nandyan pa ba kayo? Gising pa ba kayo? Oo. Yun. Okay. So, let us continue. So, next is the resource dependence theory. Okay. So, from the title ng theory, resource dependence, ibig sabihin itong organization na to ay naapektuhan ng resources. Masyado silang nagde-depend sa resources. So minsan may mga organization na hindi natin masisisi na mag-depend or mapasailalim sa ganitong theory. Hindi nila ginusto. Ano ba ibig sabihin nito? It emphasizes the importance of the organization's abilities to secure needed resources from its environment in order to survive. Kaya mamaya bibigyan natin ng magandang example yan. So it assumes that managers can actively influence their environment to reduce unwanted dependencies and enhance survivability. Okay, they recognize the need to form certain coalitions or networks to pool resources and reduce transaction cost. Okay, so balikan natin. Okay, so example. Halimbawa, si Patrick meron siyang negosyo. Ang negosyo ni Patrick, burger stand o burger house. Burger house na lang. Okay. So burger house. Ngayon, si Patrick, kumukuha siya ng tinapay sa isang bakery. Halimbawa, pag may-ari ini uh, ni Bem yung bakery. Tapos, yung bakery, kumukuha siya ng supply ng harina sa mga magsasaka. Halimbawa, sa barangay ganito, barangay Abo, ayan. Doon siya kumukuha ng uh, harina. Okay. So lahat 100% kumukuha si Patrick ng tinapay doon sa bakery. Pero itong si bakery, yung 100% na napoproduce na tinapay ni bakery, halimbawa, 40% lang or halimbawa 30% lang na 100% na produkto ni bakery ay mga burger buns ni Patrick. Okay. Then, may sinusupplyan pa siya na supermarket. Okay. Yung supermarket, doon napupunta yung 60% ng produce ng bakery. Sorry, mali ang compute ko. 70%. Okay. So let's say, mag-demand halimbawa si supermarket na 100% increase mo. Mag-increase ka ng produkto para sa akin. So let's say, gawin mo ng or gustong gawin ng bakery na itaas from 70% to 90%. Okay. Pero yung produkto na sinusupply ni bakery sa supermarket, alam naman natin, when we say supermarket, marami siyang ibang supplier ng lahat ng klase ng paninda, di ba? Let's say kung bread yan o pastry, meron pa siyang ibang supplier. Let's say yung doon sa bakery ni Ben, 10% lang yun ng total supply na napupunta kay supermarket. Okay. So, kapag nagtaas siya from 70% to 90%, ano mangyayari sa negosyo ni Patrick? Ano mangyayari sa negosyo ni Patrick? Diba? Ang mangyayari, liliit yung kita na o yung income ni Patrick. Bakit liliit? Kasi, pag nag-increase si bakery ng bread production para doon sa supermarket from 70 to 90, yung pinoproduce niya na 30% para sa tinapay ng burger ni Patrick, magiging 10% na lang. Diba? So yung 10% na yun is how many percent ng 100% ni Patrick? Less than 50%. So yun agad yung lugi ni Patrick. So meaning, kung makikita nyo dyan, dependence or resource dependence theory yung makikita nyo sa negosyo ni Patrick. Pero in order to avoid yung dependence dun sa bakery ni Bem, so ano yung mga pwedeng gawin ni Patrick? Pwede siyang maghanap ng ibang bakery na magsusupply ng tinapay. Okay, number 1 option yon. Number 2 option, pwede siyang magdagdag ng menu na walang kinalaman sa tinapay. Okay, number 3 option, okay, pwede siyang direkta na kumuha ng harina doon sa mga magsasaka at magtayo siya ng sarili niyang bakery na magsusupply ng tinapay sa kanyang burger, doon sa kanyang burger, di ba? So, maiwasan yung dependencies, unwanted dependencies. Mababawasan at magsusurvive yung kanyang negosyo. Kasi kung patuloy siyang aasa doon sa bakery ni Ben Paano kung dumating yung panahon na naisip ni Ben na 100% ko na ibibigay doon sa supermarket yung lahat ng produkto ko. Ano mangyayari sa burgers ni Patrick, di ba? Ang mangyayari, patty na lang siya. Wala na siyang burger, patty, cheese, kamatis, lettuce. Walang burger. Walang bun. So, hindi na siya burger. So, malulugi siya. Wala siyang mabebentang burger kasi walang tinapay. So, yun yung isang example ng resource dependence theory. So, sa resource dependence theory, pinag-aaralan kung ano-ano ba yung mga resources kung saan nakadepende or dependent ang isang organization. At papaano ba mababawasan yung pagiging dependent ng organization na ito doon sa resources na yun or doon sa pinanggagalingan na supply na yun. Okay? Nakuha po ba? Kaya nga kung makakapapansin nyo doon sa third statement dito, they recognize the need to form certain coalitions or networks to pool resources. Okay? So, pwede siyang maghanap ng ibang uh, sources or supplies or pwede siyang magtayo ng sarili niyang manufacturing ng specific supply na kakailanganin niya. Okay. Depende pa rin yan of course sa study na gagawin ng organization. Yung tinatawag natin na feasibility studies. Okay? So, we move to the sixth model or theory. The strategic management perspective. Okay? So, this emphasizes on the importance of positioning the organization relative to its environment and competitors in order to achieve its objectives and assure its survival. Okay. So, strategic management. Diba? Pag, naka, pag naisip mo yung, or pag nabasa mo pa lang yung salitang strategic. So, sa akin, pag nabasa ko yung salitang yan, pumapasok agad sa akin yung positioning ng isang, kung ito ay management, syempre, ng negosyo. Saan mo siya itatayo, malaking factor yun. Kung saan. Kaya nga, bago magtayo ng negosyo, ay nagkakaroon nga ng mga feasibility studies. Kaya halimbawa, pag nagtayo ba ako dito, halimbawa negosyo ko ay karinderya. Pag ba nagtayo ako sa isang, let's say, subdivision ng karinderya, malulugi ba ako or lalaki yung negosyo ko? Sa tingin nyo, pag nagtayo ako ng karinderya sa subdivision, lugi o lalaki yung negosyo? Ano sa tingin nyo? Or kapag naglagay ako ng karinderya halimbawa sa malapit sa let's say sa school or sa business center, sa palagay nyo saan doon yung mas kikita ako? Pag naglagay ako ng karinderya sa subdivision o pag naglagay ako ng karinderya sa may business center or sa malapit sa school? Sa palagay nyo saan? Saan yung malaki yung possibility na magsusurvive yung ah, aking negosyo? Saan? Yung mga negosyante dyan, Oh, sa palagay nyo saan? Siyempre yung malapit sa school saka sa mga industries or sa business center compared sa mga nasa subdivision. Okay. So usually naman pag mga nasa subdivision, di ba, when we say subdivision, it is a residential area. So syempre, kung residential yan, ah, hindi yan mahilig bumili ng ano na, luto na. Okay? So, ang mga nangangailangan lang naman ng mga fast food, di ba? Pwede na kasi nating ma-consider yung karinderya as fast food eh, kasi order ka lang, may pagkain ka na. So, usually yung mga nasa trabaho, yan, trabaho, ah, mga nasa school, okay? Kapag parang hindi na umuwi ng bahay, yung mga ganyan. So, malaki yung chance ng survival doon sa mga area na yon compared sa isang residential area. So, this perspective attempts to link environmental forces, internal organizational design, and processes, and the strategy of the firm. So, kumbaga, holistic yung magiging approach dito ng isang organization. Kaya nga strategic management. So pinag-aaralang mabuti lahat-lahat ng bagay. Hindi lang mga internal or external factors, kundi pati internal factors such as yung mga policies, yung mga processes ng organization. Okay. So it is explicitly concerned with issues of organizational performance, arguing that managers and organizational members have the discretion in choosing the strategies and structures to match the environment in a way that will enhance the organization's performance. So, anong maganda example nito? So, isa sa mga magaganda example nito, yung mga uh, fast food chains. Okay. So, alam naman natin na ang mga fast food chains, meron yung mga franchise, the franchise store. Itong mga franchise store na to, let's say, uh, Jollibee na franchise, ang may-ari nun, hindi na mismong Jollibee. Hindi na Jollibee Food Corporation ang may-ari. Ang may-ari na nun ay yung bumili ng franchise. Diba? And usually, yung mismong management ng store, ng franchise store, nakadepende doon sa owner, doon sa may-ari ng franchise. Kaya, kung mapapansin nyo, minsan, may mga ibang promos or racket yung mga branch ng Jollibee na wala naman or hindi available doon sa ibang branch. Diba? Let's say, unless yung promo makikita nyo sa commercials, kapag yun ay ang nag-initiate ay yung Jollibee Food Corporation, so lahat ng stores kailangan sumunod. Pero there are some promos na applicable lang to specific stores. Dahil yun sa nakikita nung may-ari or nung managers ng specific store na kailangan nilang magsagawa ng ganong promo para maitaas yung kanilang sales or income. So yun yung strategic, example ng strategic management. So the managers and members can decide on what strategy they can use in order to uh, provide additional income or to survive in the competition. Okay? So, my question, Okay, so may question ba? Ah, wala daw kasi face-to-face so subdivision. Okay. So next, inulit. Yan. So ito yung mga tinitingnan sa strategic management perspective. Okay. So, of course, yung management, okay? Then the system, the policies, okay? Operations, the procedures, okay? Then market, okay, when we say market, yung mga target population o target natin na customers. Okay. And of course, research and development, importante pa rin yan, research and development. So hindi po natatapos ang research sa third year. Okay. So yung ibang trabaho ay may research and development pa rin after graduating. Okay. So dyan umiikot yung strategic management. Okay. From there, magkakabuo ng strategy on how to effectively manage a particular organization. Okay? So, makikita nyo siya ay cycle, paikot-ikot lang. Okay? Then, the population ecology theory. Okay? Sir, bakit naman po napasok dyan ang population at ecology? So, ano po ba yan? So, basically, this theory states that the environment selected out certain organizations for survival. And basically, ang ibig lang sabihin yan, it is the survival of the fittest and the elimination of the weak. So it is based on the theory of natural selection in biology, where the focus is on the given population of organization rather on the individual organization. So anong ibig sabihin? Okay. So ibig sabihin, okay, dyan sa population ecology theory, okay, so sa madaling salita, matira ang matibay. Okay, it express that a given organization will succeed depends on whether it stands in relation to the overall of its competitors or to the overall environmental forces influencing that population. So, doon kasi sa environmental principle, that yung sinaunang principle na survival of the fittest and elimination of the weak. Okay. So, siya yung, di ba, yung theory of natural selection. Okay? So, meaning, noong panahon, ganun daw ang nangyayari. Kapag ikaw ay mahina, okay, weak, so normally, ikaw yung unang namamatay. And then kapag ikaw ay fit, malakas, so you survive. You will survive in the society. So yun yung natural selection theory. So, bakit ganon? Okay? Dahil ang survival ay affected ng different factors. Diba? Una, environmental factors. Let's say, noong unang panahon, di ba? Wala pa tayo masyadong technologies. Okay? So, walang yung protection natin sa weather, extreme weather, be it cold or hot. So, may mga namamatay dyan. Okay? May namamatay sa mga diseases. Diba? Noong unang panahon naman, walang mga gamot. Diba? May namamatay nga sa diarrhea noong mga unang panahon. Okay? At meron din nga mga nagsusurvive sa diarrhea. May namamatay sa flu, may nagsusurvive sa flu, and etc. Okay. So, environmental factors yun. Okay. Then, competitors. Okay. So, other factors such as competitors or predators. Diba? Let's say, panahon ng Ice Age. So, yung survival, hindi lang sa environmental factors na kasalalay, kung hindi sa competitors, let's say kalaban na clan, okay? Or sa predators, sa mga uh, animals, wild animals, di ba? So, ganyan yung population ecology theory. So, the success or survival of an organization, okay, nakasalalay siya or dependent siya sa overall relationship niya sa ibang organization, okay, particularly to its competitors, at doon sa overall na environmental factors na nakapalibot sa kanya or maaaring makaapekto sa kanyang organization or doon sa organization mismo. So yan yung population ecology theory. Okay? Okay. So as environmental pressures increase, only the stronger, more dominant organizational forms will survive. The weaker forms will cease to exist or will survive only as markedly different forms at organization. Okay? So, yan yung population ecology theory. Okay, when we talk about this theory, simple lang yung dapat natin tandaan. Yung principle na elimination or survival of the fittest, elimination of the weak. Okay? So my question, okay? Okay, next is institutional theory. So this model or theory of organizational behavior emphasizes that organization uh, organizations face environments characterized by external norms, rules, and requirements to which the organizations must conform in order to receive legitimacy and support. So rules, beliefs, norms. So basically, ang example nito ay malaking or madaling example yung mga schools, mga educational institutions. Okay? Kasi, okay, para sila ay ma-recognize muna or ma-legitimate ng proper agency, kailangan they should follow external norms, external rules, and requirements, di ba? Okay. So, ganun din yung mga beliefs ng isang school. Halos pare-parehas ang kanilang beliefs. Okay? So, they are often expressed in the forms of rational myths. And these are environment or yung environmental traits are reflected in the professional standards, laws and licensure accreditation requirements that cannot not necessarily be verified empirically but nonetheless widely held to be true. So, iba school nag-undergo ng licensure. Kailangan mayroong standards. Okay. Then, kailangan siya ay sumusunod sa batas at may mga accreditation processes. Okay? Conformity with these myths helps the organization to gain legitimacy and support, and conformance, which is referred to as isomorphism. And cross-organization, faced with a similar set of environmental circumstances to resemble each other. Kaya nga, yung mga schools, let's say higher educational institution, halos pare-parehas sila ng mga policies, procedures. Okay? May mga certain differences lang. Halimbawa kung ito ay sectarian school or non-sectarian school. Or siya ay private or public school. Okay? Okay, so yan yung diagram to explain institutional theory. Okay? So first, may individual factors, may social forces or factors also. Then, the regulatory or institutional environment or requirements, and the mismong organizational environment. Okay, so siya ay dependent sa bawat isa. Meaning, related yan, interrelated with each other. In order to gain, sabi, to gain legitimacy and support. Kaya ang big or pinaka-example niya ay mga institution of learning. Okay? Ano pa ang isang example? Isang example ay mga healthcare facilities or healthcare institutions. Diba? Pare-pareha sila ng norms. Pare-pareha sila ng practices, ng regulatory requirements, okay, ng mga social and cultural factors. And of course, individual factors, dun lang sila medyo nagkakaiba again kung sila ay private or public or sectarian or non-sectarian hospitals. Diba? Okay, so, okay. So may question ba? May question? Okay, so, inulit lang. Okay, so, my references. That ends my lecture for today.